Hi everyone, it's Catherine here from Inky Fingered Cat, and I well and truly am Inky Fingered Cat today. I've done quite a lot of filming for videos that will have already probably most have been posted out by now. Have you seen the state of my hands? Yeah, that's where I'm at. I've got my coffee that's probably gone cold. Now it's lukewarm, so I can probably carry on drinking this. And today, in amongst all the millions of other things that I've been doing, I am going to do a swap project that is, I'm just doing a bit of tidy up whilst I talk, sorry. So yeah, I'm going to do a swap project that is to make a collaged masterboard. So actually the intention is to make two, because the swap is either one A3 one, which I don't fancy being able to post, to be honest, or two A4 ones. So I'm going for two A4 ones. I've not got a plan as to what exactly I'm doing. I have grabbed my folder that's got all sorts of different text papers in it. So that's going to be the starting point, I think. But I want to bring in some pattern paper. But I don't know what pattern paper. So I think, actually, what I'm going to do, somewhere in my room, there it is. You don't want to see the state of the room. I've got everything out everywhere. Oh yeah, so I'm going to use this craft, well, it's actually crumb cake, it's Stampin' Up cardstock, as my base, just because I've got it to hand. I've got quite a lot of it. But why not? So yes, I have grabbed my folder that's full of pattern papers from magazines. And I think what I might do is try and incorporate some of the ones that I'm not as, oh, I've already found one, there you go, and say that I'm not as likely to use in other projects. And I think these are not likely to get used for any other projects, though I do quite like that. Yeah, so I think if I can use some of these bits and pieces, it's a good way of using them. Right, the others are all sort of peacock based, a bit flowery. No, I am going to tear these two out as well. Might as well go for the full set. And then that can go back in the folder. I say back in the folder, I've clearly just done that on the floor and not put it in the folder at all. But I think that if we could use these, I mean, they're very different from vintage book print, but I don't think that that's going to matter. I think we'll use some of that. I don't think it's going to matter that they're different. So we'll have a bit of French. Bit of en français. The smell that's just come out of that. A bit of they're quite cute with the maps on and the diagrams, so I'll have a couple of them. Maybe some pattern instructions, they'll work. Don't think we're going to put some Beano in. No, because I think the colours won't work. Maybe a bit of music proof paper. Bit of Handel's Messiah. We'll just put one sheet of that to it, I think. So let's go with this. Now the decision is whether I do two or one of the same design. I think we'll do one of this design and then we'll see where we go. And whether we put both in this video, I don't know. So this is sort of new to me. So it's a collage masterboard. I have done mixed media masterboards before. I don't think I've ever done a collage one before. I'm just going to start loosely placing some of these things. Not bothered about too much in terms of whether things are going forwards and backwards, but we will see where we get with this. Liking that. I was wondering if that goes actually up there like that. Anglesey to Menai Bridge to Holyhead, Carnarvon. Cool. Right, let's go bold, shall we? I think we'll keep with the torn edges for the moment. Let's see. Do we want anything that big? No, I don't think we want it that big. Maybe like that. Maybe a bit of that over here as well. Right. I mean, I love this floral pattern. It's quite cute, isn't it? And again, I don't think we want a big piece. I'm thinking maybe like so. Maybe a bit going off there. Let's see what happens there. And I just want enough to make sure I've covered first, rather than anything else. And then I definitely think we need some more book print going in. Let's keep going with the papers. I mean, these are cool papers indeed. Thinking like so. Maybe another bit of that would work. The one I'm struggling with is this really graphic one. I'm just thinking that just doesn't seem to match with the others, so I'm just going to put that to one side. This will work. I'm thinking like so. Softer edge there. A bit more of that book print. Where is the other half of that French page? I think it needs to be maybe there. Maybe that goes under there somehow. I feel like we need something here, and I'm thinking I really love the green, and we've not got very much of the green on. So maybe the green works. There's a big piece there. We want maybe some more of that. Do you want that maybe going that way instead? Here. Then we want maybe some more of that pattern structure. I haven't got as much of. Works in there. So that's pretty much, if we popped oh no, I know which one we need. We need the first pattern that I used. There we go. Thinking that needs to go. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of thinking and not explaining, but yeah, I think therefore we've got a covered page. Now I've realised that you can't see the entirety, so bear with me. There we go. So that's covered the entirety of the cardstock, so I know that that's enough pieces. I'm going to just move my little pile to one side a bit, so I've got a bit of space and I can start thinking about gluing this down. In fact, what I'm going to do is move that to one side, handily, because I'm doing two pieces. That works, doesn't it? Now, do I want to ink edges? I think I do. It's going to be a lot of inking, isn't it? Because there's a lot of piece of paper there, but I think it's fine. We can do that. Right, grab my black soot. Because I'm feeling like it's a black soot edging rather than a vintage photo. And we're going to start with the bottom piece, which is going to be this one here. It's going to go over there. Now, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to ink each piece, like so, but I am not going to be bothered about the outer edge because I'm going to hang it off and then ink at the very end. So I'm just going to save myself a job. I mean, some of these edges might not be visible either. Right, where's my glue? I am using a piece of a book that I am just using for various mixed media things. I'll just glue onto this, and then I can always turn this off, use it in something later on. It's a bit easier than gluing onto the top, onto the surface, and then constantly having to wipe up. That works nicely. Right, I think this will be the next piece that we want to ink and stick down. Now, I have been watching a few YouTube videos on things like collage, etc. And one of the women that I was watching, Joey DeFi, or Joey DeFi, or I don't know how you pronounce the name of her channel, but anyway, she doesn't glue all the way to the edges when she does this kind of thing, so she can tuck things underneath. Now, I haven't tried this before, so I'm wondering whether I should also be doing that. Also thinking I probably wanted that further over so more of the print was dull. That's all I'm saying. Never mind, doesn't matter. Right, next piece. But yeah, so I'm wondering whether I should start doing that so I can perhaps tuck some pieces behind as well. Don't bother doing the edge, Catherine. You don't need to do the very edge because you're going to chop it off and then ink. So yeah, I'm wondering whether I should do the same here and just maybe only glue some of it around the edges, and then I can perhaps tuck that piece under there or something. Maybe, I don't know. Oh no, that was to go on the edge, wasn't it? So I don't want that to happen because I want to glue that edge. Right. No, Catherine, stop. You're going to do this piece coming up here. Oh, it takes some careful thinking about, doesn't it, this collage masterboard? Have you tried one of these? It's, I realise that there's a few edges that weren't ripped, and I do want them to be more organic than just cut straight lines. Do you know what? I think having to think about not gluing all of it is slightly confusing me. So I'm not going to be bothered if I forget that halfway along. Right, let's just give this a bit more of an interest. Do we like that? Then we can perhaps, yeah, we like that. Right, again, ink the edges. You can probably guarantee at some point I'm going to forget to ink something. And it'll annoy me because I'll have stuck it down and then I won't be able to get it up again, and there'll be an edge that's not inked. See, I just, I don't know about this whole not inking the edges so you can tuck. It's not working in my brain very well. at all. Okay, I am thinking to ink all 4 edges on this one because I think I need all of it doing. Like that. Right, this is a big piece. Of course, because I'm tearing off pieces, I'm wondering if actually I'm going to end up with more needing to be covered. Don't know. Let's go with that as the edge. We definitely need gluing. Maybe just not going all the way to the edge of that. See, I am trying to think about it so that we can perhaps tuck. I'm wondering about tucking that. See, that looks quite nice. So yeah, I definitely like the idea of the tucking. Just finding it difficult to work out. When I set something down to glue, especially with my glue stick, I tend to go all in with the gluing. What I need to do is also look back at the... I've forgotten how I was doing this now. There we go. Well, it'll go like that. I need to look back at the instructions for this swap to see whether I'm allowed to sew it or not, because that will make a difference as well, won't it? Right, let's go and work over here a bit. So because this is a swap and I'm not entirely sure what it's going to get used for, we have to keep them flat. I remember that much in the instructions, so maybe I ought to go and reread those instructions and just see what it is that we are and aren't allowed to do. It was a bit more of a complicated swap than we normally do, that's for certain. That's nice. So yeah, because I'm thinking if I was going to sew this, then we would be talking about doing something a bit different. It wouldn't matter about gluing down the edges because the sewing will also adhere it in place. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I just go along at the end and sort of like find all the bits that didn't get stuck down. And then stick them down, I don't know. I mean, I do want to sew, but my sewing machine is it's definitely causing a few issues at the moment. So a lot of things I'm making, I'm ending up with a big old mess on the background. I'm not quite sure why, because I'm not an expert in sewing and I just literally sew paper and nothing else. So I think I might need to do a little bit of a investigation as to why it's doing what it's doing and work out how to fix it, which wouldn't matter if I knew what it was being used for, but when I don't know, it could well be that we can't quite cope with the big old mess of sewing that my sewing machine leaves behind. don't know. Didn't want to rip it. Never mind. I have. That's that. Let's stick that down. But I do still quite like the tuck bit. Wondering whether just do a small bit of that on the top. So even though I'd got things laid out, I am slightly veering off in terms of how they were laid out. Not massively, but a little bit. Oh, that was close. Nearly went straight for the glue and not the ink. So yes, I am slightly veering off from the original plan, but that's okay. There's still plenty of papers. I can always add more in if needs be. Look at the state of my hands already. So I'm thinking that needs a significant amount of oh, well, there you go. That was a significant amount of, and then Catherine well and truly tore it. That's okay. It all works. It's all fine. So the bookprint that we've got on here is from some kind of geographical something of Britain. It's a book I bought in a charity shop a while ago. It's not out of copyright or anything like that, so it's not like I can sell any of these things, but it's a nice smooth paper, and it's a slightly lighter colour cream than like the more vintage ones, but it's definitely a cream colour rather than a white colour now. Right, I wonder where that's going to go. No, it's going to go over there actually. Maybe there. That works. And you can always tell when I'm concentrating. I can't talk. I was watching somebody else on YouTube, Crafty Cat. She makes some beautiful collage type pictures and lovely journals. And she's exactly the same. The other day, it just suddenly goes incredibly quiet as she's concentrating or she's thinking. But she's really good at the chit chat to camera otherwise. But it's quite funny when she suddenly concentrates, it goes deathly quiet. I think I'm the same. Well, I know I'm the same actually when I do craft alongs with my friends. You can tell when we're all concentrating because we're all dead quiet. No, that's got quite a firm line in it, but I do quite like that. It works quite well. Right, so I've got a few gaps that feel like they need something, so I'm thinking that along there would work. Let's just give that another turn. It felt a bit straight. Feel like we need some more colour down here as well. What should we go for? Maybe a bit of that pink. Yeah, I like that. Maybe no, it needs to be a bit different from that. Right, let's go for, there we go. probably going to end up exactly how that piece is that I just discarded, but you know, hey ho. That do definitely need something maybe here, a little bit of those instructions. Oops. So although I've realised I'm probably off camera a bit there, sorry, I'm not bothered about wording going vertically or on the side. What I don't like is it going, so I wouldn't suddenly go like that. I want them either up or down. Wondering whether that, well, this is where I've not left any tucks, have I? Have I left a tuck there? So I can put something in there. Maybe. Again, nearly went straight to the glue. You'd have all been shouting at the screen going, Catherine, Claire, you've forgotten to ink it, you've forgotten to ink it. Feel like we need something else. Let's find some of that. Maybe up there. And I'm aware that I've still got two big blocks here that I'm sort of struggling with working out what I want to do with them. So I haven't forgotten them. They still are on my radar. But I feel like we just needed to do some of that first. Right. So when I've done masterboards before, it's been more mixed media rather than just collage. So there's been like stamping and stenciling and all sorts of other things going on. Whereas this obviously is a little bit different because it's outside of my comfort zone, because I'm not at this point adding any stencil and stamping. I think I'm going to have to pause the video in a minute when I've managed to completely cover and just go and check what the instructions are as to whether I'm allowed to do, well, what else I'm allowed to do. I know it's to be left flat, so no embellishments, but whether I'm allowed to go and put, for example, some stenciling on it. I don't know if that's allowed or not. Thinking, oh, that's too close to that one, that's close to that one. Works. Yeah, that works. There's enough of a gap for me to tuck it under. So that's a really good tip from Joey, to use, to not glue completely to the edges so that you can tuck things under at a later point. I think that's a really good tip. I've actually ended up with a little gap there, which is annoying. And I've still got a gap there, and there's a little gap there. Right, let's see what we can put on. I'm thinking maybe that little bit over there will work. So yes, so so Joey is Joie, like joie in French, like for joy. And then I think it's DE and then FI. That's her YouTube channel that I've been watching quite a lot of, and the other one is Crafty Cat, which is crafty and then CAT, so just like I'm a CAT for Crafty Cat. For Inky Finger Cat, she's again so close to not inking. Yeah, which I find quite funny because her name is Amy, but she does have cats, so I'm assuming that's why she has a YouTube channel called Crafty Cat, is because of the cats in her household, whereas I am Inky Finger Cat because I am a cat, as in my name is Catherine. So I'm not liking the huge amount on that one. I don't know when you stop this. I'm struggling to work out when you stop applying stuff. And I think I need something else there as well in terms of the pattern paper. And I definitely think I'm only doing one with this style of paper, and we'll maybe hunt out some different papers for the second one. Let's see what we can find. I think maybe this one. I mean, I love this, that I'm using up papers that I don't think I'd have ever used in anything else. Really loving how they look. It's not that I don't like them, I just don't think I'd have ever used them, so it's a good use up of pattern papers. And I know on my blog I am a design team member for Crafty Hazelnut's pattern paper blog. So she does a challenge where every month you make a project using up pattern papers. This is a really good way of doing it. What I'm really unsure about is how we use these things later on. So I'm really happy with what I've created. It's a real mishmash of a patchwork, but I like it. I like it. Right, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go and look up what the instructions were for this swap and come straight back. See you in a minute. Okay, I've read the instructions, and the instructions are to leave it flat. I definitely don't want to add sewing because, as I say, my sewing machine is causing a few problems at the moment. So, in fact, let me just show you the back of a project that I've just done. She says I'm just sprinkling mess everywhere. That's what it's doing. So if anybody knows what's wrong with my sewing machine when it does that, please do let me know. So I don't want that on the background of all of this. So what I think I might do is just trim this down and ink the very edges. But then she did say you can add stamped images to it. So I'm thinking that I might grab some stamps and add some stamping, and maybe using paint rather than ink, just because I've chosen really quite busy patterns already. I don't think we need distinct images, but I'm thinking I'm getting a circles vibe. Don't know why, but I am. Maybe that's rubbish. I don't know why. I would think circles. There are no circles in any of those pattern papers that I've chosen, but that's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking for the next one, I might not go so colourful. Might just do pattern book prints for the next one. Don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, I'm thinking circles. What have I got? see, I'm thinking of these, but maybe using white gesso to add them. Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. So that's what's happening, I think. Thinking white gesso and this will add some interesting finishes. I don't think I want the two ones that are more like a splatter. Right. Grab myself a couple of stamp blocks. Let's do the bigger ones first. I mean, these are well used stamps that I've used in a lot of mixed media. Right, I've got some white gesso here and a sponge for applying it to my stamp. Let's see what this looks like. Do you know what? If it's rubbish, it's rubbish. Well, it's not as bright as I was expecting. That much is for certain. But do you know what? That's also fine. It's just adding a bit of something in the background, isn't it? That's quite cute. I like that. Let's do a few of these big ones. Just off the page there. I'm just going to stand up to stamp. I feel like it's a standy-uppy thing that's needed. I'm also going to brave using. Oh, look at the state of my fingers. I am such a messy crafter when I start playing mixed media. I love it, but oh my god, I am just a shambles. Okay, happy with that. Do need, however, to immediately grab everywhere, get them clean, not just the fingers, which are not going to come clean, but you know what I mean, stop them from being potentially hazardous to the artwork, but also need to clean up the stamps, which, yeah, they are well used, but when using paint or things like gesso with stamps, you don't want to leave it mucky. You want to get it cleaned quite quickly so it doesn't ruin the integrity of the stamp in terms of the image. I mean, this is a loose image anyway, so it's not like it's a fine lines and you lose the sense of what it is. It's meant to be a loose, swirly circle, but even so, you don't want to completely ruin the stamp by leaving paint on it. So I'm going to go in with some smaller stamping, and again, it's I mean, I could maybe put more of the paint on, but no, I'm quite happy with it as it is. Actually, I think it's soft, it's nothing extreme in terms of the images, but I'm quite happy with that. And I'm also thinking I might do a wee bit of stenciling, maybe, as well. I think, again, keeping it sort of loose and not distinct images. Let's go for another circle, smaller one still. The thing is, I'm wondering whether I should have just given this a good wash off the white. I'm happy with it. I'm just not Not loving it. Let's just say that. Wondering whether to get the black gesso out or whether that's too dramatic. Thinking not use that anymore. Stencils. Let's grab some stencils. Thinking about this. Is it too much? Well, I'm slightly at the regretting doing the white gessos. Damping now. Thinking black. Which is an interesting kind of idea, but let's see. Let's go black gesso. So we know we're getting something that's matte. Because there's all that black in the papers already. I'm thinking it'll work well. So Life with Lisa stroke It's Only Paper channel, when you're doing journaling, says it's only paper. It's only paper. It's only paper that I'm much happier with now. Right, I think a little bit more of this pattern going down here. Be careful not to stick my paper into that blob of gesso that's up there. Much happier with that. I'm thinking just a little bit along this edge here will look nice. Right, is there another stencil I want to use? Apologies for wobbling the desk, which likewise wobbled the camera. So just like those stamps are well-used stamps, this is a very well-used stencil, it's sort of falling apart. But that's good. Just trying, fiddling, doing a little bit here and there. Sort of going over the edges of where I've stamped those circles that I'm less happy with. I think I'm done with that. Do definitely feel like I need to ink the very edge, but then again, I don't know what it's being used for. I also want to put some words on it. Do I want to put words on it or not? Do I want to do more with that white? I do feel like I do need to. maybe instead of words I have some letters. I think this is a Dilution stencil, but I could be wrong. Again, no idea how well that'll come out. Oh, that looks nice. I'm liking it. Okay. Now this is coming together in a way that makes me happy. Whereas before I was feeling a little lost on it. Now I am super happy with it. Oh, apologies. I think that'll be my parents FaceTiming, so it's time to press pause and have a chat with them. Well, that was odd. They didn't need to speak to me at all. Anyway, I'll talk to them later. So I had a very quick chat and I said, right, if you don't need me, I'll speak to you later. Right, let me zoom you out again. There we go. Super happy with this. Now, do you know, it's funny how it suddenly takes shape. And then before that, I was feeling like, not happy about this. I'm not sure I'd want to send this, and I'm not sure I'd want to receive this. Now, I love it, and I'd want to receive it. So I'm just going to put those stamps to one side. I'm contemplating clearing up that mess that is up there with the gesso before I end up accidentally putting this in it. But I'm also thinking I might grab my Posca pen and do a bit of doodling. So I think we'll do that first. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what we're using these for. Lisa, so this is for the, randomly, it's the 20 inches and more, or the inchy twingy and more group. But they're the ones that have got me started into junk journaling. So I suspect that these are for, at some point, pages in our junk journals. I'm not entirely sure I've followed the rules for all of the other swaps that we've done, but apparently next month we'll be doing something with these pages, not these ones because this will have gone to my swap partner. So we just need to put our swap receipts to one side because we'll be using them in a project next month, but I don't know what project. So I just hope the recipient likes this. I'm really happy with it. I am going to make, as I say, another one as well, because we've got to make 2 A4 or 1 A3. I mean, 1 A3 would have been mad. Plus, I didn't fancy the idea of posting A3. I haven't got anything that would be suitable to post it in. And I think that would be a lot of bother, whereas an A4 I can pop in to an envelope quite easily. But yeah, I'm thinking the next one might be more vintage in theme, so that the recipient gets a bright and breezy one, as well as, well, I'm saying bright and breezy, obviously it's gone a bit grungy. Are we happy with that? Yeah, I like that. It's just added that little bit of pink back in. But yeah, this bright one, along with a more vintage feeling one. Feeling that most people are probably doing vintage junk journaling type stuff rather than bright and cheery. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not the only one that's sort of gone a bit weird with the junk journaling and started doing less junk and more a bit of more of a record keeping type thing with photos and stuff. I mean, because I don't know what we're going to be using these to do, I'm not entirely sure how I'd use it. Don't know. What do you reckon? Not sure. Right, I am going to stop the video there because I'm conscious that I want a cup of coffee and something to eat, and I think I need to do a big tidy up before I get on to the next one. So I'll put the next one in a different video rather than trying to cram it all into one video. But I'm happy with that. I am really happy with it. I'm not feeling like, I'm feeling like it's a background, so it needs something to make it into not a background. But I'm happy with what it looks like. Yeah, good. I like it. Do you like it? If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, put a thumbs down. I'm absolutely fine with both of those things. Give me some feedback. What do you think? Please do subscribe if you want to see more, especially if you want to see the second part of this project, which is another one of these, but using completely different papers. I'm saying completely different, I'm meaning different, because I'm not going to use those pattern papers again. I'll use something different with that, but probably will use book print and stuff. Subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want a little warning that I've posted another video. I don't post things on specific days, so sometimes that's the best way of doing it. And until next time, bye bye.